flip that bad boy open, give her a little push, and it pops open. It smells good too. You know when you open packaging sometimes and you're like, what the?
After waiting 6 months since the announcement, and then another month while it was on back order, I finally got my hands on a DJI Ronin S. Up until now, I've been using a Gudsen Moza Air, which I've been fairly happy with, except a few things I'll talk about later. When buying the Moza Air, I also considered a Zhiyun Crane 2, not the confusingly named Crane V2, which holds less weight, but ended up with the Moza because it was cheaper at the time. I'm using a Sony a7S II with a 24-105 lens, and unfortunately, the Ronin S integration with this camera isn't that great yet. This would probably be an awesome gimbal for the GH5 or GH5S, since follow focus would work. But for my camera, how does the Moza Air and Ronin S stack up against each other? Both do the basics really well. They're easy to balance, give smooth camera movements, and everything else you would expect from a gimbal in this price range. But there are some notable differences which may or may not matter to you. The Moza comes with extra dual handles which have been very useful for some shoots. The Ronin S doesn't come with these yet, and there are no official accessories from DJI, but you could makeshift something with the tripod mounts on the bottom. The Ronin S tripod, which also doubles as an extended grip, is really nice. The Moza didn't even come with a tripod, which seems ridiculous. Why ship with dual handles but no tripod? It's kinda necessary when balancing. The Ronin S has the offset roll motor, which makes it much easier to see the back of the screen. The Ronin S also allows camera batteries to be swapped easily, at least on the Sony cameras. This is a big deal, especially when you're on the back of a snowmobile in the freezing cold, and you don't want to take a few minutes to remove the camera and rebalance it. The Moza Air camera control cable works as you would expect. It's USB to start and stop recording, as well as snapping pictures. The Ronin S solution of using an infrared emitter is a joke. It bounces around while moving the gimbal, and I had a hard time trying to line it up to work consistently. There is a USB cable for other cameras, but why not make it work for Sony? Moza, other gimbals, and other remote controllers work fine. There's no support for follow focus on either gimbal for Sony cameras, but maybe the a7S III will make it easier to support. Sony and DJI should get together to figure this one out. The Ronin S has no way to mount any other accessories like an external monitor or microphone, where the Moza Air has a 1/4-20 right on the side and plenty of places if you use the dual grip. It's also easy to clamp things onto the Moza, but not so much for the Ronin S. The Moza Air phone app is decent, but the Ronin S app is a lot more polished and has a huge advantage here because you can save 3 custom presets for various settings. Most importantly, this is saved when you shut the gimbal off. The Moza Air has 4 fixed presets, and any customizations you make from the app are forgotten when you shut the gimbal off. The Ronin S Joystick is better in that you can control 2 axes at a time, where the Moza only lets you control 1. That is, you can go left or right or up and down, but not at the same time. The Ronin S allows you to do a 360-degree roll when using it in flashlight mode, which might be useful for some shoots. The Moza Air doesn't support this. I should also mention that the Moza Air is a bit lighter, but the Ronin S battery is supposed to last twice as long. If you're new to gimbals, be sure to take some time to practice balancing your camera to make sure the gimbal works smoothly and so that you get the most out of your battery. A properly balanced gimbal should not move no matter how you tilt the camera. Here is some footage from each of the gimbals. In this shot, I'm doing a full speed sprint, which is why it looks a bit more bumpy. So which gimbal is better? Well, like most things in life, there is no clear winner. There are just differences that might matter more to some than others. Both gimbals could solve most of the shortcomings I pointed out with firmware upgrades or extra accessories. Hopefully they do.